Okay, we're back, and now we're going to do share screens. Now, there's a whole bunch of really cool stuff on share screens, but I have to remember that this screen that I'm recording on my computer is not my whole computer screen. I have a 27-inch monitor, and I'm only recording maybe about 1/4 of it right now. So what I'm showing might look really cramped, but remember, if you have a really big screen, then it's not so bad. And you can also see over here where I'm showing myself on my notebook computer what it's going to be like for me to show everybody else my screen. A lot of stuff is cut off. The windows will change. So let's take a look at that. First, I can show you something really cool, which is that, and if, oh, sorry, let me just step back again. Sharing screens, to begin with, is this great big green button that you can orient people to. It's to the right of the green button. It's to the left of the green button. The green button is share screen. Oh, I'm sorry, got to step back to this too. Share screen on my settings is available only for the host. I made it so that the only person who can share any screen is the host. I figure if certain students can share screens at any time, could get a little rambunctious, and you could get, some of it might be very benign or very kind, and Taro's birthday, and then Jiro says, oh, it's his birthday, let's put a picture of a birthday cake up there, and he shares the picture of the birthday cake, which is very nice. But if people get, oh, wow, that's a really cool thing to do, I want to do it too, and you got a class of 30 kids, and it starts to get a little out of control, I think I'll just keep it so that I'm the one who's sharing the screen. However, you can pass on the share screen control to someone else by making them the host. So for example, look again at my Google image here. I'm going to go up to here, touch it with my cursor, and on that ellipse button, okay? I can make them host. That's the third item from the top. And if I make them host, then they can share their screen. But they have to understand they're the host. They have admin control. If someone suddenly comes in late to the class, they have to admit that student. And they, most importantly, once they're finished sharing whatever, their screen or whatever else, they have to give host control back to you, the teacher. And they have to know how to do all of that before they take control. If somebody gets really confused and doesn't know how to give you back the host, that meeting can be compromised because you're not the host anymore. You don't have control of the meeting. You can't do things like share screen. You can't even make breakout rooms. You would have to end the meeting and bring everybody back. So I could do that, but I'm not gonna. Instead, I'm just gonna go straight to sharing screens. And when you click share screen, you get a whole palette of options as to what it is that you can share. And the first thing I want to show you is that I can share my phone. So right over here, iPhone, iPad via cable. I double click that, and there is my phone. But you can only see half of it because I'm only recording a certain part of the screen. If I click in, you can see my icons. I'm flipping between screens. And the one thing that you want to do here that's really cool is if you want to use the camera and show something in your environment, they will see the entire camera. And if you tilt the camera this way, it'll be more horizontal. It'll take up the whole screen, which I think is really, really cool. Oh, you can see that lamp that I use to illuminate my desk. And there's my whole desk with my keyboard, hi, peace. And so that's your phone. Now, I don't know about Android phones. I'm going to stop sharing here. Apparently, one person tried to do it with their Android phone, and it said that you need a plug-in. And it didn't even say what plug-in. So I don't really know. I'm going to have to research that. If you want to share from an Android phone, what can you do? Don't know. But besides, you're probably going to be the one person that's doing most of this sharing. And if you have both a Macintosh and an iOS device, iPad, of course, too, will do that. You can actually do the sharing via a Wi-Fi network, via any Wi-Fi network that both iOS device and the macOS device are on. The option is over here. Let me do that again. Under iPhone, iPad via AirPlay. It isn't necessarily just an AirMax system, which can confuse people. It's any Wi-Fi network. So AirPlay is done between the two devices, which I think is really, really cool. You also have something here called a whiteboard. And the whiteboard is where you can do things like write your name. And I'm really bad at this, but this apparently is my name. Which is why I don't like, and by the way, the whole whiteboard itself will take up the whole screen. You can only see a little bit of it. Which is why I don't like using the whiteboard, because if you've got a mouse, if you've got a trackpad like I do, it's really awkward to use. One friend that I know, what he did was he got a tablet, which is much easier to use. You can use the stylus and it feels much more natural. But a tablet, if you don't have one right now, I don't know, it's going to be like the cheap ones from China. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're going to be at least 5,000 yen. A good one, a good Wacom, it's going to be at least 10,000 yen, $100, $200. Okay, so let me show you what I do instead of having a whiteboard or a chalkboard. I share my screen and my desktop, and this is a word processing document that I've already set up in my word processing software, Pages, and it's horizontal orientation. I'm going to make this just a little bit smaller. Well, maybe not that small, 100%, a little bit more. You can fit it yourself. Where's fit? Oh, that's right. There's fit the page. And it'll fit the page, and it's horizontal orientation. Oh, actually, I forgot. I need to move this over here so you can see me. I'll move this over here a little bit more. That naturally goes to the rightmost part of your screen. So here I am now. And this is where I use this for any text that I want to show. I find this much more comfortable than using a mouse to write. And of course, you're going to make typos, but it's a lot easier to correct this than it is to correct what you wrote on a virtual whiteboard. And I'm a way faster typist than I am trying to handwrite off a mouse or a trackpad, or probably I'm a way faster typist than I am even using a stylus. And the nice thing about this is that if I write a lot of this stuff, let's say I'm just going to copy paste all of this stuff I've been writing all the way through the class, and I think, oh yeah, let's go back to that one sentence structure that we did before. Now everybody take a look at this again. Remember we did this at the start of the class. It's still there. Whereas with a whiteboard, you're erasing things, you're changing things, and you think, oh geez, I wish I could go back and get that, and you got to rewrite it again. I've been using this method in different classes for a few years now, and I find it my go-to method. Whatever works for you. Your mileage may vary. But I find this best. It's just any word processing or any Excel document, if you want to do Excel, or whatever else that you want. It's your computer screen. So anything that you see with any of the software that you want to show, you can show it just right there. So let me stop this share. And I'm back. And I hope you saw what that was like for people over here. But I think it's something that you want. I'm going to turn off this chat message here. And let's go back over here. So that was screen sharing. You can share your phone. You can share your entire screen. You can share individual apps. Like, for example, if I wanted to share just my Pages document, I can share specifically that. It will go specifically to that. And you can see over here, that's all that the participants will see. They won't see the rest of my screen. They won't see everything else that I'm looking at. They'll see only that application. Also, to another one, be careful. If you are sharing your screen, if you find that useful, be careful that you don't have anything embarrassing on your desktop, like, I don't know, the picture of you when you were drunk last week that you decided to make as a desktop, or something written on a folder name that just seems kind of like iffy. Be careful. Watch your background. Watch your environment, because your students can see it too. So let me stop the sharing. Okay, that was plenty. That was screen sharing. Give it a try yourself. You don't need anybody else to try screen sharing. But the next thing that we're going to show is breakout rooms. You do need someone else to understand what breakout rooms are like. And the best that I could do is just this one other device. But I think it'll give you an idea. You will at least see where all of the buttons are. So let's do that in part 3. This is the end of part 2, where I just talked about screen sharing. So again, just a normal ending. Please leave me any feedback that you have. If you're watching this on social media, please leave it in the comments below. I'd like to know what it is that I could do better. Otherwise, you can always contact me at jose@goldfish365.com, and goldfish365.com is where you can find me on Facebook. And I appreciate a like. I would appreciate a share. I'm narcissistic that way. I like approval. So I will see you in a little bit with part 3. Thanks very much.